But how do we do that? Does she need to leave? Do I need to leave all of my interests behind? No, absolutely not. I want you to keep some of that part that's you, uniquely you. Your girlfriend, something that you enjoy doing, is part of what drew your husband to you. But at the same time, you have to make room in the schedule to do something together with your husband. Oftentimes, this is a date time. And these things can be dates, or they can be things we just do on a regular basis, or things we do sporadically. I'm going to give you some different ideas of those and things that we can do. Things that my husband and I have done over the years, and things that other people I know have done. But hobbies give us that time to do something together. It's something to talk about, something to look forward to, something to remember, and often a time to learn something new. One of the ways that I've heard that they talk about how we can keep that aging thing away from it is to keep learning something new. Why not make it something fun you do with your husband? You know, years ago I was sitting in a restaurant with my husband, and I looked across the room, and over there was this couple sitting there, and they weren't talking at all. Now, it was before cell phones, so they didn't have their phones up in front of them, which that you see now, too, is both couples up here, and they're looking at their phones, and nobody's talking to each other. But they didn't have their phones. They didn't have their newspaper. They weren't reading books. They were just sitting there eating their meals and not talking. I said, oh, I don't want a relationship like that. So how do we prevent that? We need to find something that we can do together, or something we can talk about together. So when do we do this? I suggest we do it on dates. I recommend a date once a week, a date night. And sometimes our date nights have been lunch, they have been breakfast, they have been in the afternoon. But it's 1 to 2 hours set aside a week for just the two of you, not for a whole bunch of people. But if date's not your thing, and you can't get him to go into that, that's another video talking about why we need dates. But then how about on weekends when you've got some free time? And one gal said, I don't have any free time to spend with my husband on the weekend. So we talked about how long she was working. She was working really long hours. I said, are all those hours necessary? She goes, well, I want the promotion. I said, how are you doing? How's your your performance report? She goes, well, I'm doing very well. So I suggested that she cut back and maybe only work overtime 1 weekend a month, so that she had time to spend with her husband to do something fun together. She was a little concerned, and I said, what's the next job promotion? Do you want it? She had one she wanted and one she didn't. So she decided to cut back. It got her more relaxed. She was more able to talk with the people she worked with. She was more able to talk with her bosses. She was more able to present at board meetings with more comfort. And she got that time with her husband. And you know what else? She got the raise and the job promotion she wanted. She didn't have to work that much overtime to be recognized by the staff in her company that she was an exceptional worker. So when we need dates, whether it's on weekends, weekly dates, holidays, national holidays. You know, there's one of those, not quite every month, but we have President's Day, we have Veterans Day, we have 4th of July, we have Thanksgiving weekend, we have Christmas, we have New Year's, we have, I think there's something just about every month, not quite every month. Oh, Memorial Day is one other one too. You could probably think of the rest of them. But those are great times to plan to do something special. So how do you do it? We've talked about why. Because we get so busy, we don't spend time together. And we want things to talk about, things to share. Do we do everything together? No, we do something together. We need something that's our own too. When? We talked about that. So how? How do we get these things in? Gals, the only way I really know is we have to plan. I got a big notebook planner, and I write things in and I plan it. Why me? Because I'm the planner in our family that way. Yes, my husband likes to plan, but he doesn't plan the details I do. Why, again, guys, why do I have to be all the one making the arrangements? I go, well, why not? Why does he have to make them? But you're the one that's interested in doing them, and he will get interested in doing them. And it really doesn't matter. If it's something that's important to you, then you need to go ahead and do it. Don't wait for him to do it. He may never do it. I know I wanted to go visit a couple state parks and see what they were like. And so I went ahead and I got online and I figured out how to make reservations at a state park, even in the midst of the pandemic. And I learned how to plug in all my information and how to get my my reservation and had to give them our card, make and model, the license number, and how many people were coming, and all that kind of stuff, besides the date. But I got it. And when we went, one park we went to, we were going, that's a downer. We're not going back there again. The next one we went to, that one's an upper. We'd like to go back to that one. Did we go for a long time? No, we're not RVers or campers, but we drove down something within about a 2-hour distance, and we loved the place. It was beautiful. We did on a hike, and we had a picnic lunch, and we checked on some other activities that were there, and realized we really had to make reservations for that. And so we'll go back another time and make reservations to go on that, particularly the boat tour through the at Caddo Lake down in South Texas. It's actually the only real lake, natural-made lake, not man-made lake in the state of Texas, and it was beautiful. But don't wait for him to plan them. Yes, he might, and you can bounce ideas off each other, things you'd like to do. I did ask my husband. I said, I'm really interested in visiting some of the state parks. He said, okay, we could do that, but I don't want to do it on a certain date. We need to get it in my calendar because he's a very busy man. So I planned it when we get it into his calendar. So what do we do? How do we do that? We have to find some fun things to do. Does it change over time what we do? Absolutely, it can change. Age will make things change as to what we do. Our physical abilities will make things change. And sometimes we can get pure and simply bored with one thing and need to do something else. Another time is sometimes you do some things when your kids are home. As they grow up, you might do things with that. And then when they leave home, you can try something new and different. So yes, marriage does have these different stages where we can try different things. So why? Because we need to spend time together. When? I don't care when. Dates, weekends, national holidays, a certain time every year that you do something special for your anniversary maybe. Maybe it's an anniversary of the day you met, but you're doing something fun. And does it change? Go ahead and plan it. Don't worry about him planning it. Go ahead and make the plans. Is it worth it? Yes, because you'll get that time together, that special time to bond together, to have something to talk about, to enjoy something new. And it's that seeing new and experiencing things and trying some competition, learning new things that give us things to talk about and things to be good. Because we see each other every day. Now that my husband works from home, and I do too, I see him breakfast, not always lunch because he's often out on the golf course, but brunch or breakfast and dinner at least. That's a lot of time together. And so we need other things to talk about. And it's good. It gives you something to connect over. It's one of those things that help you fall in love again. Why? Because it isn't all about your work or the kids or his work or family. It's about the two of you together. So what are some ideas? I'm looking forward to sharing this with you. I was looking online, and believe me, there were things that had 20 different ideas, things that had 50, some that had 100. So you can go online too and search for hobbies for couples. But here's some that we have done or that some close friends of mine have done. I'm going to give you 20 ideas. First off, my husband and I met in a singing group. I don't know how you met, but often you met in some kind of social event together or a club together or a place you were working together. And those were things you had in common. And so having something in common helps bring you together. We met in a singing group. My husband was sitting beside me, and his friend challenged him to pull my hair so he could meet me. And I went around, that's a really cute guy. And we ended up dating, and then we ended up eventually getting married, falling in love and getting married. So we have sung in singing groups together for quite a while. For many, many years, I sang in a praise team that my husband led as we traveled around the world with the military. And now that our praise team's gotten in a bunch of techie stuff, and it doesn't quite fit with me, and so I let him go ahead and do that. But we have done that. I told you about visiting state parks. Every place we've moved, now we've moved many, many times, but I think I learned this from my mom and dad. My dad was very intent, in particular, on making sure we visited all the state parks in our state of Oregon. I grew up in Oregon. And so we would travel all over the state to go visit these different state parks, and from things on the coast to things in the dry desert area to things up on the Columbia River to things down near the California border. And we saw all kinds of things growing up. And just the place where we lived was so unique. And so as my husband and I have been married for over 40 years, when we've moved someplace, I've tried to make sure that we visited the different state parks around. Yes, we've gone to some national parks, and sometimes you run out of those state parks, and craft fairs are fun too, or special car shows or things like that. But we've gone to some state parks. And so what did I do? I looked up, we live in East Texas State Parks. Just go right there online. Looked it out, found out where they were. I know we like to go hiking. That's one of the things we like to do is hike and walk. So that's one of our things. And so with that, I tried to find a state park that had some hiking trails. It was fun. And it's still been fun. We got some more on the list. And and some of them we go, nope, we never want to go back to again. And some of them we want to go back again. We also went to state parks when our boys were little and we were living in different places. I remember one that was a chain of lakes. And we took the boys there when they were little. We were camping, tent camping, and they still will talk about it. That canoe trip we did up this chain of lakes, and it was really fun. A memory. That's also the one where the raccoons wanted to come invade our camp, and my husband tried to scare them off with a big stick. So that's another fun memory. But see, these trips, these things we do together, help bring memories to us. Memories for our kids, memories for ourselves. They're fun at the time, but they also give us something to look into, what's there, what's available. We've been to some places that have some beautiful falls. We've seen gorgeous canyons. We've seen all kinds of things. We've gone to some historic sites. I remember when we lived on the Mississippi River. It wasn't a state park, but it was a ship that they had dug up from the sands around the Mississippi that had sunk years and years ago. And that was another excellent thing to go do, going to a museum. We were sitting around a campfire. One of the things we like to do is to have a campfire. So we built a fire pit in our backyard, which it works out well because we have trees both front and back all the way around us, and we're constantly going up and picking up sticks. And so my husband's gotten me to break the sticks in nice, 12 to 18-inch pieces, stack them all up so that we can quickly have a fire. And we had friends around. We were sitting around the fire, and they were talking about their RV trips. Some people love to go RVing. I don't really want to do that, but I did plenty of camping. I'd rather stay in a hotel. But whatever it is, that's another fun thing to do. They get together with friends. They do things by themselves. They go explore new things, go to new places, and all kinds of things. Having a fire. For years, my husband and I both got saved by the time we've been married 2 years. And we started having Bible studies in our home. And for over the next 40 years, because we've been married 42 years this year, we have had Bible studies in our home. It is one of the things we love to do together. We host it. We love to have people in. We get ready for them, people to come. We clean up together. We have prepare together. We make new friends together. We have things to talk about. We have opportunities to be able to share with others, including the Bible study. So that is actually something we do together, but it's a hobby. It's a hobby. It's a part of us, of who we are. Your hobbies with your husband will become a part of who you are as a couple, uniquely you. That's why there could be 100 on a list, is because people knew that there was that many different things they could do. You can watch football. I mean, that's one of the things my husband, well, fact is my mom and dad started this. We went to football games when I was little. My brothers were 10 and 14 years older than I was. And so I was in kindergarten when the oldest one started college and the next one started high school. And so we went to all the high school football games. And then I realized later we went to all the college football games so my mom and dad could see my brother. And I realized that's why they did it years later after our kids had left home. I just thought we went to the game. So I learned how to watch football. And then once I married my husband, I realized he really liked to watch football on TV more than go. Oh, excuse me. And so I couldn't watch it more than one game at a time, but I discovered something. I love to do cross stitch. And now I've added the coloring verses on the coloring pages for Christian Bible verses. So between those two things, I have fun things to do while I watch football. And we talk about the plays. We talk about who's doing it. And over the years, I have learned so much about football. Lately, my husband's wanted to watch golf too. And so I've tried to do the same thing with golf. I'm not as interested in golf as he is, but I come out and I try to watch it with him for at least an hour. It's doing something together, something that you have something to talk about. And so I know who some of the key people are. I've learned what some of the names of some of the plays are and when they describe the balls going this way or that way and however they describe it. And I've learned the words. One friend I know has taco parties at their house. Once a month, they have taco parties, and they invite all the people they met that month to their house. It's something they do together. Her husband likes to cook. She likes to talk and meet all the people, And it's a fun way to get to know her neighbors and all the people and friends they've met.